Greetings, everyone. I am AB Albrectsen, the Global CEO of Plan International. COVID-19 has caused the largest global disruption to education in history and has laid bare pre-existing inequalities within the education system that we simply no longer can afford to ignore. The education of 1.5 million learners has been interrupted, including over 700 million girls. Over 11 million girls are now at serious risk of never going back to school. 11 million. The implication for gender equality are clear. Girls are more likely to fall behind in their education, be excluded from distance learning, and not to return to school. This has the potential to roll back substantial gains made in girls' education with long-term effects for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, poverty reduction, health, well-being, and gender equality. The most marginalized, including girls with disabilities, those in crisis settings, remote and rural communities, girls and young people who identify as LGBTQI+, and girls living in poverty have already been most affected. We're seeing a sharp and alarming increase in early and forced marriage and unintended pregnancies linked to the COVID-19 school closures. The longer a girl is out of school, the more vulnerable she is to abuse and exploitation, and the less she's likely to return. Now, an overemphasis on virtual or online learning during COVID-19 has actually further marginalized girls due to the gender digital divide. Even in the contexts with high mobile and internet coverage, girls are less likely to have access to smartphones and computers than boys. Girls' ability to keep up with distance learning is further compromised by the additional burden of caring and domestic responsibilities. A return to normal is therefore neither possible nor desirable. This critical moment in time presents a unique opportunity to build back equal. Education is transformative. It has such great potential to create more equal societies, do away with harmful gender norms, and give girls the tools they need to thrive. Therefore, governments must make it a priority to address the key bottlenecks and barriers to girls' education, including those that prevent them from getting back to school after a crisis. All planning for school reopening should be approached with a long-term perspective that prioritizes equal access, community mobilization and engagement, and making sure no girl is left behind. Governments must also prioritize creating curriculums and investing in learning materials that do not promote harmful gender norms, such as, for example, textbooks in which scientists and politicians are depicted as men. But we need to make sure that we teach children that girls, young women, LGBTQI people, disabled girls, and girls of color can be scientists, software programmers, and leaders in whatever they do. So COVID-19 has highlighted the urgency of closing the gender digital divide in order to ensure that girls can benefit from digital education. Building back equal requires developing accessible and inclusive remote learning opportunities, recognizing that future shocks are inevitable and that all children and young people have a right to quality education, no matter their gender or crisis that they face. Build back equal means deep structural change must occur both in and through education. It means we must tackle barriers to girls' education and ensure that education does not perpetuate unequal power structures and harmful stereotypes, but that it's a force to accelerate sustainable gender equality and full inclusion. And of course, finally, girls and other marginalized children must themselves be an active part of shaping these policies and plans that really impact their education and futures, because nobody, absolutely nobody, knows better what girls need than girls themselves. Thank you.